Welcome to episode 3 of the Reactivity on the Road, and today we're going to be heading to the bar to get ourselves a pint, or you can go get yourself a pint. I don't personally drink anymore, but it might be a pint of orange or something like that. That aside, we're going to head to the pub. So this actually became quite a big how do I do this kind of question, Claire, when I was asking my guys what they struggled with, where they'd like to take their dogs, and being true fellow followers of mine, they were like, we want to go to the pub, Claire. I'm like, cool. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Now, before we dive into that, I hope you've been enjoying the previous episodes, and I just wanted to mention that if you see something you're like, oh god, my dog wouldn't look, and then turn away from that, or I'm still not sure that my dog's quite ready for that, please bear in mind that I've done this, we've done a lot of work with our dogs, and if you don't feel that your dog is quite ready and there for those settings yet, then we do offer more support to be able to help you with that. I'll fire a link in the comments. If you want to go and check it out, you can go and check it out, but the foundations need to be strong in order to go and progress onwards. So now I've said that, let's get into the pub. As with all of the videos, we're going to make sure the dog is as successful as they possibly can be. That means we're going to be hitting it at the minute, it's a warm-ish Tuesday, and I'm going to be hitting the pub at 12 o'clock when it opens. The pub I've picked is one that I've worked at, and I've worked at for many years, so I know it inside and out. Now, that's not to say that I know that there's going to be no other dogs there, or I know that this, that and the other. But the thing I love most about this pub is they've got various different rooms and places that we can sit. It's actually quite a warm day today, and so they have outside seating. Now, I know for sure that they have outside seating, that there's one table just sectioned off on its own, away from all the others, that I'm going to be plonking myself down on and setting ourselves up on. Look for these sorts of things in your pubs. Outside seating, a little bit more space away from others, hitting it again during the week. I wouldn't be going to the pub on a Friday, Saturday night, even a Sunday lunchtime. It can be a bit hectic. If you can't get during midweek, then have a look at midweek evenings. What I would say is that note what the weather's doing, because if it's a nice, beautiful day like this, oh, fancy a pint at the pub, probably a lot of other people are going to say that. I'm not going to tell you to go and sit outside the pub on an absolute piss poor day where it's snowing down, but just bear in mind, if the sun shines out, a lot more people usually are. So I think that's all I needed to say there. Oh, it's not. Just one other thing. Before we go, I'm going to make sure that the boy has been exercised, that he's been toileted. With it being such a warm day, we're not going to do as big a walk as I would usually want to. But I think that's everything, and I'm just gonna go and hook him up and let's go and get a pint. Okay, so we have, we did arrive at our location for the walk. The pub's just up there. We've been for a short walk. It's really hot today, so I want to keep this slim because obviously I've got Boyo in the back. A couple of things I wanted to mention alongside the regular treats that I've got. The pub is most definitely a place where I will pull out one of these bad boys. Usually I would freeze it as well, but numbnuts forgot. So it's just been stuffed with normal tinned meat I put in these, but you can put whatever you want in. I'm a fan of putting biscuits in, but the meat tends to last longer because they lick, and when they lick, it can really help to soothe a dog down and calm a dog down. So I definitely recommend getting a Kong prepped for your pub trip, or a licky mat or snuffle mat, or something that's going to keep the dog busy when you get to the location. The other thing I wanted to mention is that somebody picked up on the head halty on the last episode of I know, sweetheart, of the Reactivity where we went to the beach. I like head halties for a couple of reasons. One, if you own a big strong dog like these, it provides another level of safety for you. I'm all about the safety. The other thing I wanted to mention was I don't just slap it on the dog. This guy here is used to wearing it, and that's because I've conditioned him to wear it. That means when I pull that head halty out, he flings his nose into it. He does all that. I don't force that on him. So conditioning Sorry, I'm just trying to find my keys so I can... It's not a good move, I can't find my keys. Okay, I found my keys. Yeah, so conditioning the equipment that your dog wears can help hugely, not only for them being comfortable wearing it, which can also help with your reactive behaviour. If your dog's not comfortable wearing something, it's probably going to make them annoyed or scared or worried more, so that can affect and play on their behaviour. So by making sure it's conditioned properly and that they're happy wearing it, it gives you a level of safety and extra control, and it also means that they're cool, calm and collected with it on. I don't think there's anything worse than a dog feeling restricted, even more so, and then seeing something that worries them or excites them or puts them over the edge, and it can just make the reactivity worse. So I wanted to pick up on the head halter. I was going to put it on for today's session, but I don't think I'll need it, to be fair. So I guess I've said everything I need to say there. We've got our Kong, we've had our walk, he's had his 20 poos. I think that's all that's left to do now, is to go and go to the pub. Let's go to the pub, let's get a drink, and let's settle him in. So as I entered the pub, I first went in without Hunter, just to check what was around and whether it was busy or not. As it was opening time, it wasn't, so I then took him in to meet the chef and the people there and to just have a good sniff around. You don't have to take your dog in, you can leave them in the car, get yourself your drinks, and then when you're ready you can go to your area. And as you can see, I set him up here immediately with the Kong in the shade, and that is the only table in that area, so I knew nobody else was going to come next to us. Something to note when tying the lead onto the table: make sure your dog's neck is never restrained by it, because if they pull out towards whatever comes, then they're going to get in a tangle. By getting there early, he was able to enjoy his Kong. There wasn't many other people around. There was a couple with a Labrador over the far end of the seating area, but it was nice and relaxed and gave a really good positive association for him to settle into. Then the Kong ran out, and you could hear there the barking of the dogs in the background. Now, knowing this place and knowing which way they're going to come, I knew from where the pole is that people were probably going to walk up that path off the trail with their dogs. That meant as soon as I heard the barking and as soon as he'd acknowledged it, we started playing a scatter feed or a bounce off, and just letting him hear and then throwing him a sausage until he's putting his head down on the floor and repeating that automation. If you're prepared and ahead of the game and you can set your dog up for potentially what's coming, then you can really see how we can manage a situation when a dog does arrive. Because that's what's going to happen now. I'm really heavily scattering on the floor. There's a dog coming in at the entrance. I am keeping him busy. The importance of doing it before is that your dog is already into the activity. What can sometimes happen is if you just start the activity as a dog arrives, what the dog can learn is that this activity means there's a dog around, I have to look for it. And you can end up creating more of a problem than you had initially. So get your dog started. Then when they notice the dogs, they're on their way out and away from you. Your dog is going to be a lot more successful in that format than dealing with a head-on approach or a very close distance approach.
Good boy, you're so clever. Good boy.
We didn't stay long due to the heat, and I just had a half a lemonade, but hopefully you can see there how we can really start setting your reactive dog up to be able to deal with these sort of settings more successfully. Starting small and doing these exposure sessions even once a month would stand you in good stead for preparing your dog for being there more and more, and with it hopefully becoming more and more comfortable in the presence of other dogs and people. With that, I have to stress that if you do have a people or dog reactive dog and they're a lot heavier in reactivity than this, please seek professional in-person assistance, and please don't be discouraged by using a muzzle. We had a great time at the Royal Oak Hurdlow, and if you've got any questions or there's anything else you'd like to see, we'll most likely be back at the pub at a later date and progressing our training again. We'll see you on the next episode, where we'll be heading to a country park cafe.